Hello nerds, Vester here with
Pride!
and we are bringing you upcoming Marvel movies. Vester here with
Pride.
and we're talking about Avengers 2 today. Age of Ultron. Now, Pride, I know you're more of the comic aficionado. What can you tell us about Ultron? What does he bring to the table that ups the ante compared to the other villains they faced?
You know, it's really weird, in my opinion, that they brought Ultron, because the first couple appearances of Ultron in the comics, he was kind of not really that big of a deal. Like, yeah, he was a villain, but, rather, really uneventful. He really manipulated others into doing his dirty work for him, which I think that's what he's going to use to really, I think why Joss Whedon decided to use Ultron, because he's really using them to introduce us to two of the most popular Avengers that haven't been shown yet, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
I know in the trailer the trailer showed both of them with Ultron following them around. What do you think? What is that about?
Okay, so I think it's really hard to give a quick and concise answer on this, but I'm going to try. In the comics, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the Maximoff twins, they are mutants, but because Fox owns the right to the words mutant, they can't use it. So I think what they're going to try to do is introduce us to the Inhumans through them, which because of that, now they're we see them at the end of Winter Soldier. They're captured by Hydra agents. I think Ultron's going to free them, try to manipulate them into basically his plans. And eventually they're going to realize that they're being used, and they're going to team up with the Avengers and break them.
Alright, we also saw a little clip of the Hulkbuster and the Hulk in those, which is something I'm looking forward to seeing.
Hulkbuster looked so good, didn't it? Oh man, when I saw it going to its full length, I was like, yeah, that's pretty epic. It's going to be cool.
Alright, now, we know it's going to branch off into other movies. What other Marvel storylines do you think they're going to bring into Age of Ultron?
I really think the biggest one we should expect out of Age of Ultron, because Ultron's always been used as a link to something bigger, Civil War. There has been no comic event in Marvel bigger than Civil War, and we know that the next Captain America movie is called Civil War, so I think we're going to really see a lot of building blocks to the bridge that is the war.
Which is, for those of you who don't know, Captain America and Iron Man pretty much going at it. And
basically, actually I can talk about it later, but yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Can't wait. And that's Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, coming at you 5/1/2015.
Another guy here with
Pride.
we're here to talk about Ant-Man. I don't know much about Ant-Man. That's why I'm going to ask all the questions to this guy. So, Ant-Man's coming out in theaters, when is it, July 15, 2015?
7/17/15, yes.
Oh, I was off by 2 days, sorry. What can,
I just have the list behind you.
Tell us a little bit about Ant-Man.
Alright, so Ant-Man is one of the first comics Marvel ever released, and he goes way back. Originally, Ant-Man was a guy named Hank Pym. Created this suit plus gas that allowed him to grow and shrink. Hank Pym kind of has a bit of a weird history because, came out in the 1930s. So, there's a lot of things out there that I think Disney, who owns Ant-Man, wouldn't really want them to do, like beating his wife, bit of an alcoholic, drug problem. So, it looks like in the movie Ant-Man, we're actually getting the second incarnation of Ant-Man, Scott Lang. Scott Lang will be played by Paul Rudd. You don't need me to tell you who Paul Rudd is. You know who he is. He's kind of like a petty thief, like a second-rate criminal, but he's not like a bad guy. He's just kind of like a quirky, funny kind of guy. He kind of has to fall back on hard times. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Paul Rudd takes it. Also, you got Michael Douglas. You don't need me to tell you who Michael Douglas is. He's coming in to play Hank Pym, the creator of the suit, the scientist, the real gun bones behind that. If you watch House of Cards, Senator Peter Russo, a guy named Stoll, his last name, can't think of his first name right now. He's going to play the main villain, Yellow Jacket. Kind of like a protege to Hank Pym, studies underneath him, basically ends up stealing his company and weaponizing and getting the technology to sell to the military. And basically Hank Pym teams up with Scott Lang to fight and get his ideas back. Finally, there's one person I do want to mention. Evangeline Lilly is playing essentially the Wasp. In the comic books, the Wasp is played by Janet Van Dyke. And in the movie, her name is going to be Hope Van Dyke, which is kind of a reference to Hope Pym, which was a one-off supervillain in an Avengers spinoff where the daughter of Hank Pym went evil and tried to kill everyone. So we might see a little thing of that.
So besides everybody you just name drop,
So,
what other characters that possibly could be getting in, and also will be getting leaked towards anything else with Ant-Man?
Ooh, okay. So I really think that we're gonna get a lot of the history of the Marvel Universe here, with Hank Pym kind of going backwards in time with, and we'll meet Howard Stark a lot, get a lot of info of Tony Stark's dad, and I think this might actually lead to a lot with Avengers Part 3.
Well, that's all we have here, guys. That's Ant-Man. Look for it in theaters 7/17/15.
Hey, Internet, Steve Rogers here, and since we're breaking down the Marvel movies, what movie are we gonna do now? I have no idea which movie we're gonna ask you about. Any ideas at all?
War! What is it good for? Absolutely everything!
Was it a Civil War?
I don't know, can you be civil?
I can be civil with you.
Alright.
So we're gonna talk Cap 3 Civil War.
Cap 3 Civil War.
Why don't you give us the condensed version of Marvel's big event?
Okay, so long story short, people have superpowers, and some people are scared. What happens if they go crazy and kill us all? Or become cloned and kill us all? Which is what happens. So, the US government decides they're going to pass a Superpowered Registration Act. And this forces anyone with any kind of powers to come forth, give their real name, their superhero name, all their superhero powers, and their weaknesses. And a lot of people are like, this isn't cool because, like, first off, I don't want to tell you my real name, it's my secret identity. Second of all, why should I make my weakness public information?
That's a good idea.
That's not a good idea. Captain America says, I stand for freedom, and I think this is dumb. Iron Man goes, look, I'm just a dude in a suit. This is a pretty good idea. They start to bicker a little bit. Next thing you realize, half the superpowered population side was Captain.
The right side.
The other half side was Iron Man. War breaks out because of this. You have good guys and bad guys teaming up against other good guys and bad guys. Many people die.
All the people die. And
it's just amazing. It's probably the greatest event to happen in our generation in comics.
And in the comic book, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't most of the damage towards the civilian population, which they're trying to protect anyway?
Yes.
Kind
There's so much just like... I think one of the reasons why it's called Civil War is because the Civil War, in history, was the war at home. And this is exactly what it is. It's the war at home. And it's all over the streets of every place.
So when do we look forward to this?
We can look forward to Captain America, The Great Civil War, on May 6, 2016. It's so far away.
Get your popcorn ready.
So far away.
What's up, everyone? Jakaya here. Pride's still here.
They won't let me go home.
Because you're being punished. This is what happens when you say Star Wars instead of Star Trek. But we're not talking about either of those. We're talking about Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strangelove.
And it talks to play Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I know you wanted Colin Farrell, but it's... he's not in the talks anymore.
I would have loved Colin Farrell in this role. Have you seen In Bruges?
Yes, I have.
I thought that would have been amazing.
And I know you were praying every day, like, please let me Colin Farrell. But we get Benedict Cumberbatch.
We did get the legendary, the scarf-wearing, trench coat-wearing, hair-fluffling Benedict Cumberbatch.
I've never seen him fluff his hair.
Season 3, Episode 1.
Damn, now I'm going to have to go back and watch that. But that's going to be for another time. What are your thoughts about Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange?
I think it's good. Doctor Strange is a British guy. I'm not really seeing... I think they're going to probably go as an English accent or American accent for it. But throw a little bit of gray in him, and I think the fangirls and those boys on that line between, that line, are probably going to freak.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So, aside from Benedict Cumberbatch, was there any other news released about the movie?
They did say they were doing like a pretty strong origin movie because they wanted this to be a strong base for the launching of the magic of the Marvel universe, because there's a whole side of the Marvel universe that has like this whole like mystic powers and mystic realm and magical powers thing. So I really like the idea of an origin story. We get to see the start of Stephen Strange when he, egotistical doctor hurts his hands. Sister's in a car accident, tries to save his sister's life because he's egotistical. Sister dies at his hands. Goes to Tibet, learns with the monks, and becomes the most powerful mystical doctor, sorcerer supreme the universe has ever seen.
I could have never said that. Thankfully, you're here still.
Against my legs aren't chained. You just can't see them.
No, they're not. But about the release date for the movie, they're talking 2016, right?
Yeah, November 4th, 2016, according to their
long ways away.
So far away.
It's right there.
I want it now. Give it to me. Give it to me, Swan.
Why do you torture us like this?
Marvel is like that really cruel mistress that you just can't break away from.
No, we can't. But at least we have this to look forward to. 2016, November 4th, 2016. Don't you forget that, people.
I'll be in the front row. And now we're back.
Back again.
Still in chains. And we're going to talk about our last video of the night, Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. Dose. So yeah,
So, what can we expect this time around for the Guardians?
way more space. The thing is, the Guardians of the Galaxy is a big space thing, right? And we did get a lot of space in the first one, which was fantastic, phenomenal. We did get a lot of the cool planets. We got some of the Nova. Oh, Nova Corps was fantastic. I'm hoping to introduce Flynn Rider. Sorry, side note. Nerd again. But I think it'll take a lot more in space, and we'll finally get the final and last of the Infinity Stones for Thanos.
Alright, some things that probably going to pop up, the search for Star-Lord's father. What do you think? They're changing that up from the storyline. Why do you think they're changing it up, and what direction do you think they're going to go in with that?
Okay, this is a really...
Is it Howard the Duck?
It's not Howard the Duck. Actually, it might be Howard the Duck, actually. The thing is, originally, Star-Lord's dad was, Jason, spelled weird, I can't, Jasonox of Spartoi. And he was a guy started a rebellion on his planet and became one of the lords of the planet. Went to Earth, banged the girl, gave a kid, told the woman the story, and that's why she called him out as Star-Lord, because she knew he was a lord of the stars. So they're kind of changing it up. He's not going to be that anymore. The rumor is that they're going to be Adam Warlock is going to be his dad, which a lot of you guys aren't really familiar with the Marvel comics. And there's a bunch of you guys who read lots of comics, and you're still going to be like, Adam who? Adam Warlock is kind of like a very specific to a certain brand of the Marvel universe. I'm very handsy with this, I'm sorry. And he is the most powerful being in the universe. And we saw his cocoon, that's right, cocoon, in the first Avengers in the Collector's Collection. And they said that they want to do Adam Warlock. If Adam Warlock is Star-Lord's dad, Peter Quill? What?
Yeah, so, you know what? They know what they're doing. I have full faith in Marvel movies now. They've done nothing but impress. How is this going to push the Marvel Universe forward as far as opening up to bigger and better story arcs?
I think this will be the final movie where we get the final Infinity Stone. Thanos is going to get them all, and we're going to be introduced to the Infinity Gauntlet or the Infinity Wars. Wars, technically plural. So yes. So that's what I think will lead to this. So yes.
Which we'll talk about that later on when we talk about Avengers 3.
But this is Guardians 2, which will be released on May 5th, 2017. So we'll see you later. Make sure to tune in for part 2 of our upcoming Marvel movie.